in just 4 days, something happened. Okay, so I'll just start by telling you why I wanted to do this. I've always wanted to do this. Ever since I heard about this kind of fasting, I was very intrigued and I wanted to know whether I can do it as well. But at that time, my main goal in life was to build as much muscle as possible, and I was under the impression that fasting would cause muscle loss. So I was always away from it. I said, let it be, I don't want to try. But this time, I was like, this is a good opportunity to try this because I have become quite seasoned at fasting now. I've been fasting for uh, 6 or 7 years now. So yeah, that's one thing. If you are not used to fasting, I think you shouldn't try this immediately because it was the hardest fast I have done, especially the first day. Okay, the first day, it got hard right from the second hour itself because I was somebody who was taught that you're supposed to drink water all the time. And I used to drink water pretty much all the time because I wouldn't really think about it. I would just keep sipping water as and when I want. There was no restriction as such. And now, all of a sudden, uh, I, I couldn't drink water. So that was something. The first day was actually quite hard, especially because um, I was still training people in the gym and I was talking a lot. When you talk a lot, you tend to want to drink water because your mouth starts to get dry, which, by the way, is not always an indicator of thirst. I learned that. Okay, most people, okay, they feel like their mouth is getting dry and they immediately go and drink water. Now that's a natural thing to do because after you drink water, you feel like your mouth has regained its moisture. But the thing is, when you're talking, you tend to breathe from your mouth. You're not breathing from your nose. And actually, while you talk, your salivary gland production, okay, it tends to reduce. Okay, this is the same thing whenever you get nervous or anxious or something like that. But you don't necessarily need to go and drink water immediately. If you wait for some time and you wait for that feeling to go away, you will realize that saliva production starts again and it just disappears. So you don't need to drink water immediately. And if you look at animals, okay, animals are always closer to nature than us, obviously, because they're a part of nature. They don't drink all the time. Okay, they drink and then they don't drink. Okay, they drink and then they don't drink. And I also noticed something, that drinking water during a workout, it kind of didn't make sense. Just imagine back in the day, if we went hunting, okay, we would probably not be drinking water while we were on the hunt. We would probably drink water before that and probably after the hunt, whether it's successful or not, but definitely not during the hunt. And I also did an experiment after these 4 days of fasting. I decided to try working out without water, and to my surprise, I actually could do it, and there was no change in my performance, and I could actually even perform better. That's the most astonishing part, that I could perform better without water. Of course, I hydrated myself very well before the workout and after the workout. Okay, but that goes to show that if you hydrate yourself well before and after, you don't need to constantly be sipping on water while you work out. Another thing that I learned is that your body actually has a mechanism through which it can internally hydrate itself for some time, which makes sense because our bodies are designed for hard conditions. Okay? And in those hard conditions, there are definitely going to be times when we did not get to drink water for some time. And obviously, if that was the case, and if we weren't geared to handle some sort of dehydration, the entire human race would have died because of some sort of dehydration, right? But that's not the case. So the body can actually use fat to produce some amount of internal water, and apparently this is what I've read. I don't know whether it's true, and I also don't know whether this what I felt is going to be true for everyone. Okay, this is what I felt, so it's my personal experience, but I thought I had to share it because it was very interesting, and the human body just never ceases to impress me. So the thing is, this internal water is supposed to be of extremely high quality. It's way superior to the water that we drink from the bottles or from our filters. okay, because it's coming from our own body. And also, since there is a mechanism, now if there is a mechanism in the body, it should be exercised so that the body is functioning optimally. If there's any mechanism in the body that is not used, then it's going to start to rot. And that's how things actually, start to surface with these small things. Another thing that I noticed was a reduction in inflammation. Now, I already noticed a reduction in inflammation when I stopped eating excessive carbohydrates, okay? But after I did this fast, the next day, I felt different in the morning, okay? First thing, I woke up fresher. Okay, the duration of the sleep was lesser, but it was something like something like fast charging in these new phones, like just a little bit of charge and it lasts you the entire day, So I slept for a less amount of time, but I woke up fresher and my joints felt weird. It felt almost as if they had been oiled, like lubricated. I felt more flexible, and definitely that's a sign of inflammation reducing. And I have also read up quite a bit of people with joint pain. They do some sort of dry fasting and they find that their joint pain reduces significantly. So if you're suffering from joint pain, a dry fast is definitely something that you might want to consider trying. And I did it only for 4 days actually. First thing, because I wanted to really know whether I can do it or not. I found out I can do it. And another thing, the one thing I actually didn't like about this kind of fasting was that you had to break your fast very late in the night. For me, it's late. It's not late for most people. It's very early for most people, but I usually stop eating at around 4:30. Because of this fast, I had to break my fast around sunset, which was around 7, and that time only keeps increasing as this month of Ramadan, you get deeper into the month, the time keeps increasing. So I found that because I broke my fast late, I had to also sleep late, and then because you couldn't eat or drink anything the next day, you have to wake up early to make sure that you eat something and drink something before the day. So I'm pretty sure that guys doing this fast are not getting the best amount of sleep. Okay, even if they're sleeping after they eat and they sleep through the day, you're still not getting that continuous sleep that you should have been getting. So that's pretty much the only drawback I saw of this fast. And of course, I made a certain change. I have stopped drinking water as soon as I stopped eating as well. So when I stopped eating at 4:30, I stopped drinking water as well, and I just drink water the next morning. So I'm technically dry fasting daily, and I plan on doing it forever, man, because I think it's something that significantly increases the effectiveness of a fast. Not drinking water definitely puts you in a fasted state much quicker than having a fast with you drinking water, because I have done a 42-hour fast and I felt exactly the same at the end of this fast, which was just about 12 or 13 hours, as I felt at that 42-hour fast. Okay, so I read up online, there is something to this as well. Apparently 1 hour of dry fasting is equivalent to 3 hours of water fasting. So yeah, to dry fast for 12 hours, you must be able to do a water fast for whether you just stopped eating food but you still drink water. You should be able to do that for about 36 hours before you actually attempt this. So yeah, this is what I learned. It's pretty amazing how much I learned in just 4 days, and it has changed my life. And definitely I have a massive amount of respect, which only grew in these 4 days, for all my Muslim brothers who are actually doing this fast. I think it's an amazing thing also because of what it does to how you feel, because when you are doing this fast, you are going to feel very dull through the day. Okay, everything that you usually do is not going to feel as good as it usually feels. Nothing feels like a reward, man. Whether you watch YouTube videos, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're talking to your friends, you're not drinking water. So the basic reward is not met. So nothing feels like a reward. Now, obviously, this is the whole point of the fast, so that you feel a little dull. But the best part was once you do start eating and drinking normally, everything starts to feel even better than it did originally. So there is definitely a mood enhancing benefit. Not to mention that I was doing this fast alone. I can only imagine how it would feel to do this fast with other people, as this is actually it's something that the full community, the full Muslim community does together. So at the end of this month, when they all feast together, that would be just some different kind of high. So yeah, I would just encourage everybody to at least try this fast, and it should be something that people should do more regularly. Anyway, that's it.